Zach Pratt, 11th grade.
Audrey Ramsey, 10th grade.
Rachel Levy, senior.
Grace Marco, senior.
Hugh Nugent.
Ariana Gaudette, sophomore.
Michelle Muller, senior.
Kelsey Mingo, freshman. Jamie Bartoletta, freshman. Grace Alfieri, freshman. Taylor Bennett, freshman. Ariana Fabiani, sophomore. Fallon Brady, sophomore.
Well, it really started after the loss last year. We all got together, talked about the banquet, and then most of us were in the gym all summer working out. And then once tryouts started, we gathered one more time and talked about what needs to be done this season. We need to work harder than last year, work harder than the year before that to make sure we can bring it home this year. So the whole time, every practice, every game, every Saturday morning practice, we all had to show up, give our all. We were there early, stayed late, practiced hard. That's what it took to win the stakes this year. I think we've always been seen as leaders, but it also goes back to the group of girls we have. We have a great group of 13 girls that love to follow us, and I think it really goes back to them too. We allow them to give us their input too. So it's not really just us. Everyone kind of gives input, but they're really good followers, and they put it in to make it a team effort. So that's what it really is.
We always try to play tougher teams to prepare for the state tournament, state championships, semifinals, and all that. But we really play tougher teams so that when we get to states, we're like more prepared. And we've played some of the toughest teams in the country. So just going to the state championship, we knew that we've played teams that were much better than Ferguson, and we can handle it, and we can handle them. So Coach New definitely prepares us to win by having us play tougher teams in the summer and over Christmas break and all those. So he definitely prepares us for the state tournament by having us play tougher teams prior.
It goes back to the chemistry of the team. They spend a lot of time together. We spend a lot of time together on and off the court as well, but also during the summer and put them in situations where they're competing some of the top teams in the country, all over the country. It helps their process of getting better and mental toughness to prepare for what we have to do. But ultimately, during the summer, I really don't coach them. We have some really good staff on our travel organization that steps in and coach them. So I kind of back off a little bit in the off season and let someone else coach them so they can hear from another coach. But also, the blessing is that it comes down to mental toughness and chemistry. So the plus for us playing together, playing tough teams, they build the chemistry, but also they're building mental toughness as well. Down the stretch, 2 minutes to go. The funny thing is all season long we've been working on situations. 2 minutes to go, you're down 1. 1 minute to go, you're down 2. What do you do? How do you do it? And we do that almost every single practice this year. And who would have thought that it panned out that way? That 2 minutes to go, you're down 2, and 1 minute to go, you're tie game. So it preparing them for what they had to do, during the summer. It worked out in our favor.
Recently went up to Orlando, and it was a rough tournament as individual players and as a team. And after that weekend, we kind of just stepped back and took a look at everything, all the dynamics we had to narrow in on and what we would need to get to the state championship. So just having that weekend, obviously the games didn't fall for us at all if you look back at the records of them. But we took a step back, looked, and it really showed us what we needed to do in order to win states. So Coach New and Rachel and myself, we got the whole team together, really talked about how we were going to have to step up as individuals and as a team in order to win the state championship. So that definitely opened our eyes that weekend.
From a coach perspective, that was probably the roughest time of our season, where I kind of saw the state championship wasn't possible because of the way we play and injuries, and our chemistry wasn't there. So it was rough. So, I texted the girls. I said, look, if you guys aren't going to step up and play, I want to cancel the next 5 games that were tough against tough national ranked opponents. Winter Haven and Fort Myers and those guys. And of course they text back and say, no coach, we want to play. But also, you know, Rachel sent me a text during that break and said, Coach, you know, I still got it. I'm going to take this team to state. I promised you that. And I need you to take the team with me. So from that point on, it was kind of like the turning point from our leadership standpoint. I started to challenge Grace and Rachel a little bit more, being leaders on the court and off the court and motivating the young girls as well. So that stretch really refocused us to what we need to do to go to the state championship.
Honestly, we just had to adjust ourselves. We knew that each player has a role on the team and we can't be the only one scoring. So we got to pass the ball and then we'll fit in right as time goes on. But yeah, that's it. We just had to adjust ourselves. Like, we knew there was better players on the team. So if we just pass the ball around and then eventually our shots will come. And then our shots will come.
It's definitely different because, as she said, our roles are so much different. Because on like our travel team, it was like us freshmen, like we were the leaders of the team. So definitely playing with them, it was a different role. But yes, we did adjust to it as they're great leaders, so they helped us with that.
Well, you know, my coaching philosophy is best players play, regardless of classification or who they are and whatnot. And we have a good group of freshmen that came in, and they all had to compete for playing time. And, you know, some of the games, it came down to right at the start of the game where I decided who was going to start. You know, sometimes I whisper into Kelsey's ear and said, hey, you're not starting tonight. Or sometimes Grace was in practice, we were preparing her to start, and then game time comes around, Kelsey ended up starting just because of, you know, situations and who we're matching up with, and sometimes we make the last minute decision. So that was a struggle for the both of them, and I saw that throughout the season as well. But them being so young, and they, you know, their maturity grew, and then they adapted really well, just accepting their role as players on our team. Definitely saw a little bit of toughness in them, but also a little bit of disappointment that they don't get to score the 20 to 30 points game like they did in 8th grade. But then they're coming into a situation where we have two McDonald's All-American nominee, two Division I recruit that are right in front of them. They knew they're going to have to fight, one, to earn the respect to be on the court, and two, to earn to take a shot. So, you know, they were the last option on the court to take the shot. So I think that they were really mature. They were mature enough, and thanks to the leaders, that they adapted really, really well. You know, you're down 2 with a minute to go. As a coach, one, you gotta stay calm, because if I get all crazy, they're gonna get crazy. And the funny thing was, at halftime, everyone left the locker room already. And this is the kind of relationship we have between Grace, Rachel, and I. Grace came up to me and she goes, Coach knew I needed to stay calm for the rest of the game. So I knew I had to stay calm. And, you know, we call the play, 15 seconds to go. They turned the ball over. It was tie game at this. Well, let me walk back. At a minute to go, we're down 2. And Audrey came down, took a spin move, hit a bank one-handed jump bank. It was incredible. Tied up the game. 45 seconds to go. They came down. We switch our defense, and they call timeout. And I turned to my assistants. I said, Coach, should we switch up our defense right now, or should we stay the same? And my assistant goes, you're the head coach, Coach. We can't make that call. You got to call it. So I switched it up. We went on a trap, and then it worked in our favor. They turned the ball over. 15 seconds to go. We bring the ball down, and I called a timeout with about 9 seconds to go. And it worked out perfectly. Grace Marco has been our most consistent inbounder. High IQ. She knew where to place the ball. So we had her inbound the ball. The plan was to go to Rachel, and Grace would cut it, and then Hannah and Audrey would cut at the same time. And I knew they were going to cramp down on these two kids, because any coach would have coached that way. He's a great coach. But the ball went to Hannah, did a turnaround jumper, and kind of bounced out. And, you know, clock's ticking down, 1.5 seconds to go. Luckily, hustle play, she wrapped it in the jump ball. And we called a timeout at that point. Now, right? Well, yeah, and then we were setting up for the final play, and we were in frantic as well, because on the floor, they're calling down. from the sideline, I'm calling a jump shot play for Grace Marco. So luckily they call a timeout. So oh, thank God. So we got to set something up, and going into the timeout, I mean, we knew that they were going to guard these two kids. And if the ball goes to Grace Marco, it would have been an off-balance type of shot because they're going to be really tight on her. If the ball going to go to Rachel, they're going to triple team down and grab it. So I told Grace, I said, look, first option Rachel, but they're going to cramp down on her. Look for the out on Audrey. And Audrey, if you have time, swing it back to Grace. But if we don't have time, just let it go. And, you know, luckily they went in and, you know, they just pan out from there. Watch the video.
Super confident, but I was confident in my shot because I didn't want to get nervous and have them throw off my shot. So I came out confident, and then my teammates just trusted me with the ball, and I just put the ball in there. And then she tackled me first, and then she got there next. Yeah. And then Hannah got there, and I don't know what you guys did.
I was second.
You were on top of Rachel, that's all I remember.
It's a nice try.
You know, the funny thing about that shot is, and we all can laugh about this now, but in practice, we would all yell at Audrey. Audrey, you're not going to make it. It's time to start practice. But Audrey sits there at the three-point line. I want to make it, coach. I want to make it one day, coach. I'm going to make it. And she goes one hand, she goes right hand, she goes left hand, she goes half court, she goes 3 feet behind the three-point line. Literally every day in practice. And we all can say, Audrey, stop. We got to start practice. But it's funny how it pans out that way, that's the shot that she made to win the game. You know?
The one thing that really when I look back at it, the one thing I'm gonna remember my whole life is just once we're all in the dog pile. First we're screaming because we're freaking out, and I lock eyes with her, some of the girls that were there with me last year, and the second I lock eyes, we all just start crying, and I see him and we just start crying because it's such a special moment after losing in Final Four, losing in semifinals, and now finally in the final championship at the game, at the buzzer, we won, and it just goes to show all the hard work we put in because of all that disappointment we've already seen. So it was just that moment where we started crying and we started hugging after all the screaming and pandemonium. That's what we're gonna remember, and that's what makes everything worth it.
I mean, it's unreal to me. Our first game my freshman year was against Dwyer, and Rachel and I had played the whole game if I recall right, and I just knew from there that we were going to have something special as friends and teammates, and it's so unreal that we are here with gold medals on and all our friends behind us and all those girls out there. Some of those little ones, 7, 8-year-olds, look up to us and they think it's unbelievable that she's going to Harvard, I'm going to Boston, when we were out there not that long ago. So I hope that we taught those girls and the girls behind us that you need to give back, you need to be good people, and there's more to basketball than just the game itself.
Just to touch on that real quick before Rachel goes, some of these girls behind us, Rachel and Grace used to coach growing up, and some of them were our water girls when Grace and Rachel were playing. So you just see what they have built in this community for kids to come, and kids are here. It's incredible. So I'll let Rachel take it in.
I would just say this is middle school that I went to, so it kind of all started for me competitively at this middle school, and I've been back year after year. This is where I've always come, and I just realized my favorite thing about basketball, I love the sport, I love my teammates, but what I truly love about playing is being able to be a leader and being able to be a good role model, because I think one of the most important things someone can have growing up is just another person to look up to, not necessarily an adult, but just a friend to look up to. And I feel for the most part, me and Grace have been that for not only these girls, but all the girls we see in the gym, all the hundreds of girls that now see that college basketball is a thing, that having fun with basketball is a thing. So I feel when I was growing up, I wish I could have had a really good role model like that was on my team, but knowing that me and Grace have been able to be that person for so many girls, it's a great part of playing basketball.